Hello, everybody. This is as nuts as Foghorn Leghorn himself. So I've got like 5 minutes left in my lunch break. This will clearly go over, but this is something I'm so excited about doing. I'm just going to jump into it and wrap up before my 1:30 meeting coming up. So if there's anyone from work tuning in, this is what I do during my lunch break. I plan Vim macros to make sure I'm sharp. I'm sharp in the industry. I'm in the field of search engine optimization, among other data engineering tasks. And what I want to do now is, you see the examples I was using. This is a test. This is a test.jpg. So let's just grab one of these Foghorn Leghorn pictures. It really doesn't matter which. I want people to know what I'm talking about. This one. You bother me, kid. Let's go over here. I grab the full size one. Oh, click. Right. So they got you there, huh? So I guess you could. It's not good resolution anyway. So I'm gonna close out of that one. I'm not gonna waste your time in too much of this image selection. I'll choose one that doesn't look like they got some, something going on, some hook. Maybe another one. Yeah, this is not in a great place for saving, but let's try it. Let's save as. Now the thing is, okay, it's HTML there, so I'll right click on that. Didn't work, right? The best laid plans, huh? We'll just go for the really most easy one. Let's grab that first one, visit to Wikipedia. There should be no problems. Go into that, right click it, save image as. And just to get the point across here, you can see the last place I was saving stuff into for some other posts I was making. I'm just going to go into downloads, like where it should go. And he's called Henry Hawk. I don't know. No one knows him. No one's going to search on him as Henry Hawk. He's the chicken hawk from, and this is where we want this guy, right? This is the famous guy, Foghorn Leghorn. Foghorn Leghorn. If I misspelled that, I'll correct it. .jpg, right? So now we have that saved locally. You can see it pop up. And we'll go to that location. I guess you can click it from here to have that pop up. Windows key tab and bring it to another location. Like over here's. Oh, that is my download directory. You see those other files that were there? All right, fine. We're streaming. You know what I'm talking and thinking about. The Charlie Brown kicking the football metaphor, very important. Getting a good night's sleep, so important. A good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. So true. Carl Rogers, it's in a strange format. I won't make that come up, but, listen and repeat what people said to you to their satisfaction, so they are satisfied that you understood what they said. And the flying monkeys, in defense of the flying monkeys, and the winged monkeys from Wizard of Oz. Much maligned creatures. So I'll bring up another Windows Explorer, push that over there, start typing GitHub for my always directory, and in there start typing Mike Levin, and in there start typing assets, and in there start typing images. And that brings me into the directory where I want to be. Now I just copy over what I downloaded. I could have downloaded into there in the first place. Is that where I am? Oh, that's where I am. That's not even my downloads directory. That's why you're seeing all that stuff. My downloads directory is usually just empty, right? So there's Foghorn Leghorn. Now in that location, and I click and hold on that, and then I do a Control-Shift right arrow to get the file extension, a Control-C to copy it, another Control-C, because Windows apparently wants you to Control-C twice on everything these days. We can get rid of this. We can even get rid of this search. Okay, my streaming window, maybe people will join in. I promise I'll look this time. Someone chatted to me last time and I didn't notice till later. We got one viewer. Hello, viewer. You can say hi. I'll come and look to see. All right. So now where I have all these this is a test, I just replace that with that example, right? And I show you what our target is. Our target, our goal is to have alt text, and of course, because it's markdown for an image, I say of course like you know, but I know that an exclamation point needs to go there. And alt text.jpg would be the pattern that would be found here. So I'm attempting to turn this to look much like this. Now, the reason I have it repeated twice when I, do my test macros is that it's very easy to do something that applies to the entire line when you search and replace. And so I have this pattern here, which would capitalize everything. So let me copy that into my copy buffer. Okay, and then I use my Vim visual selector to select the whole line and then hit H once or twice. Now, the best way to do this is V to go into visual selection mode from the beginning of the word. Hit Shift 4 to jump to the end of the line and then hit H once. You only have that selection made. Now, if I hit colon to start to do something to the visual selection, paste that pattern in, hit enter, you'll see it capitalized. Chicken hawk from Vagon. Okay, it looks good. It looks good. I'm going to undo that. I'm also going to search on just anything because we have to get rid of that ugly highlighting. But you'll see if I had other text here and I did that same selection, V, W, 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 there's different ways to do this. There's always more than one way. And I did that same search and replace. You can see it would pick up that O and that T. You can see even before I execute it. So the difference between this one here and this one here is, I'll type it in and you'll see this O and this T highlight disappear. After the S:// this version has a \% uppercase V. So we'll do that. \% uppercase V. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I have just constrained the search and replace. Now it's picking up that JPEG. That's a little bit unfortunate. Maybe I'll make my visual selection so that it never includes the extension. That would really be the way to do it. So that when I executed it, it only uppercased under the visual selection, just what was visually selected, right? Yeah, right. Okay. So I'll hit U once to undo that. Search on anything to get rid of those ugly yellow highlights. And it's safe to do that in this journal because this is my public journal. So anything where it accidentally jumps to, you're seeing stuff that's already been published anyway. So deep breath. Time to do a macro. Let's get rid of this other text because that's going to interfere what we're doing. And I've already recorded a macro in A at A for earlier today when I was demonstrating on hard line returns in the poem. But this time, or line wraps, I should say. I gotta watch my language. People could actually care. Okay, we're going to start recording the macro at B. All right. And already I screwed up. I'm on the line below where I want to be. So, and I did at B. I executed a macro. I did it wrong. Save, escape key. All right, deep breath. This is why you do a deep breath and you don't try and rush and cram it in during your lunch break. But I'm too excited about this one to not do it. So first of all, I am going to pick up the whole thing that I know I'm going to be using in the first part of the macro. This next one, I'll probably type it in. It's a bit shorter. Although, I could... Stay on track, Mike. Stay on track. Deep breath. Q, B. We're recording the macro at location B. To get my visual selection, I know I'm at the beginning of the line, but I'm going to hit 0 just in case. Ensures I'm at the beginning of the line. I have to do this macro from something I pasted on the line by itself at the beginning of the line. So I hit 0 to ensure I'm at the beginning. I hit V once to go into selection mode, just plain old selection mode, not visual block, not visual line, just visual. Now I hit / for search. I hit / because periods are special characters that need backslashing, and then I hit period. So you can see the yellow cursor just jumped to the exact right location. No, it didn't. Oh, yeah, it did, right? What's green here? Ignore the yellows else places. See what happened to the green. Okay, I hit enter to commit that visual selection to being what I'm working on, and I make sure I'm not in insert mode. I know I'm not. So that means one hit on H will back me off of the period, and now my selection, even though the period is still highlighted in yellow saying it was in my search, my visual selection only goes up to the N of Foghorn Leghorn. This is where I want to be. Now I hit Shift colon or Shift semicolon, which is a colon, and puts me in start to do something to your visual selection mode. I hope that N is still in, well, it doesn't matter if the N is included in it or not because it's capitalized the beginning of the word. I could always polish the macro. Now I'm going to right click with my trackpad to paste in the interesting. I am going to lose what I want in a copy buffer. I actually need it in the copy buffer. So we start this over. This is so typical, ladies and gentlemen. You will be re-recording your macros. So I stop recording the macro. I hit 0 to jump back to the beginning of the line. All right. Now we take a deep breath again and we add a necessary first step. Now, you remember how I had the two examples when I was going, this is a test, this is a test. That's because we do need two of these here. In fact, I'll probably do the image tag formatting first. So without further ado, Q, B, we're recording into B, V for visual selection, Shift 4 to jump to the friggin' end, H once to backspace off of the line return. That's actually part of that selection. That would mess this up. Y once, not YY, because YY would yank the whole line, including the line return. We don't want it. I for insert mode. Exclamation point, left square bracket, escape, Shift 4, A, right square bracket, left parenthesis, and the sharp ones out there will know that my Shift 4 was unnecessary. A might have done it. Shift A would probably have done it without the 4 in there. Hit the escape key. Shift 4, P, A, close parenthesis. Escape. 0. LL. V. / backslash. Period. Enter. %. I will type it. S / backslash, parenthesis, capital V, backslash, less than, period, / backslash, U, ampersand, / G. Enter. All uppercase. Oh. Next step. We're not in insert mode, so that is good. Okay. 0. LL V / backslash period. Enter. Colon. S / backslash. %, capital V, backslash, minus, /space/G. Enter. Ha 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 ha. We're already in command mode, no escape necessary. 0. I'm going to hit 0 just to make sure. It's probably unnecessary. / for search. / period to search for the period. Enter. V. / left square bracket. H. No! That's in the search. No, I backspace. Ah! Saved. I'm going to have to edit that out of the macro. Enter. Now. H. D. Okay, I saved that one. It's going to have a funny flash when playing the macro, but it's going to work. L I / assets / images / escape to get out of insert mode. 0 to return the cursor to where it started out. Q to stop recording. A few spaces. We put in our beginning text again. Go to the beginning, play the macro, which is @B. Bam! All right, so let's put that where it actually belongs. Little things, big changes. Smushing J. P. GG. This is my workspace. We don't really need all of this, but I'll put it in there. Recording an Vim macro for markdown image insertion. All right, that's good. This is for a live casting performance art event. It has permanently and forever advanced my life. Bam. Okay, so this stuff here, you know, let's just make that code so that it doesn't have weirdness. And since that has markdown in there, we're going to use fencing. Oh, you know what? I don't need to insert it if I'm going to use fencing. That goes like this. And that should make that all look like markdown. In fact, this is the only part that's marked down. The rest of this is just regex stuff. I'm just going to insert that as like code. And then I got to put something in between, or else the markdown, you know, interpreters can get messed up. This is the Vim search and replace patterns. And this is the, you know, what we're trying to accomplish, starting with alt-text.jpg. In fact, I won't. I should just be on the sentence. I don't want to keep making the same problem for myself. That's stupid. All right, run the release system. I guess I'll do a before and after real quick just to show you that there's are there people here talking? No one's talking and only one viewer. All right, I'm still there. That's good. Hi there, whoever's there. Okay, before and after, right? So I go into my blog here. Little things, big changes is the one I'm working on. There's no graphic down here currently, right? Another before and after is that is the last post. There's actually one above it that's going to appear. So after my release system does its little thing, and let's see, it's 1:17, not bad. My call will be starting soon. I went over my lunch break a little bit, but you know what? This is for work. This is, my superpowers arise from things like deep understanding of regex. I was able to slam out a project in like 2 hours at the end of the day because I knew regex really, really well. There you can see the Foghorn Leghorn graphic being pushed out onto the website as part of the Git process, just because I put it in the right location. Now, granted, I was in my car dropping my kid back off to Staten Island in the middle of the day when the project came down, so I did create my own time crunch, but I had the super abilities, I had the superpowers, the magic casting spells to do it. Came home, boom, like that, because exercising the muscles. So not everything is do, a checklist item for work. A lot of times it's keeping the saw sharp. And this is very much like that. I mean, you see that recording that macro, man, that is so relevant to the work I do in so many ways. Someone dropped off and came back, or maybe you lost your connection for a bit. This is so weird. I'm still getting used to live casting. Let's do a little refresh here. It's time for the music, right? Oh, that would go well with a poem, wouldn't it? I got a mic. I like to talk. I love to talk into the mic. I love the mic. I'm Mike Levin. I've got some tales, so let's begin. And of course, I talk about the Karnak key press program you saw me use. This is when you see this happen over here. Hit escape. You see everything I do. The J's and the K's for moving the cursor around. You see all that come up over here. That is the great Karnak piece of software for showing my key presses. And then this is that last video when I recorded that line break macro I was talking about. Yeah, so my alerts are going off. My meeting's in 10 minutes. Let's see if my thing got published yet. Refresh. There it is. Recording Vim macro for markdown image insertion. The session we just talked about, pushed out, is I'll have to beef this up because this isn't going to make sense, someone just looking at it. But we go back to this post here. Go back to full screen, scroll to the bottom, do a refresh. There's the image. There's the little chicken hawk. Yeah, see, I quoted it there. Don't rush me, kid. You bother me. That's just what made me think of it in the voice of Foghorn Leghorn. So I probably should have moved it up there to the middle. But anyway, if I mouse over it, oh, let's see. It should show it. There's extended stuff you can do in that image tag. I just did this at quick first pass. But if I were to, let's view source. View page source, control pluses to make it big enough to read. Scroll down to where that image is near the bottom. And there's our image, assets chicken and alt. Yeah, see there? This was all created automatically because it was already a keyworded file. So you download it from wherever, you make it in Photoshop. It's all original artwork, right? So you get your image, and then you rename it using, in my system, underscores should work too. I could adjust the pattern to handle underscores, but you name it using hyphens for the keywords. You, of course, can't change the file extension or it'll stop it from displaying. And then, you paste it into Vim and you run the macro on it, and it becomes a actual image tag. I'll just demonstrate it one more time. Well, instead of demonstrating it one more time, I will commit it to my vimrc. So I know it's in my B register. So if I hit :B, a different B, it's in my B register. I'm going to a buffer that corresponds to ~/.vimrc. It jumps me to my vimrc. I'm going to go down a few control forwards, and you can see the last one I put in there, which I don't really want to keep because it's got errors in there. So I'm going to delete that one out. I just showed you how to put it in here. Let ampersand, do I have an I? I don't have an I. Let ampersand I equal open single quote, escape, colon, no, not colon, double quote, B, P, A for append, single quote. It did an unfortunate line wrap, so I hit escape. I go up one with the K key. I hit Shift J to unline wrap it. Colon W. No, not colon W yet, because I can see that my Shift J was on the wrong line. I had to do that manually. I'm going to stop reading what keys I'm typing. You can just look at it if you want. I'm just looking around to make sure everything's correct. Colon W to save it. Colon Q to quit out, colon Q again to quit again, because I have so many files loaded. I could alternatively do colon Q exclamation point, but I don't like to get into that habit, because then you can accidentally quit out of Vim without saving your edits, your last edit. So I quit twice. I reload my all program. We start out in my private journal, which is never a problem because there's just a poem here which you really should read. The world is your checklist, so look around. The 80-20 friggin' rule, gotta use it. It's a tool reducing clutter that we back into our life, so hold us back. Time for B2, R2, B2, ampersand, whoops, at J to start a new blog post. And this is a test of image markdown macro.jpg. Escape, 0, save it, because why not? It's always a good time to save. Now I play the macro, which is at I. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. I'll do colon wrap so that it wraps it. Set wrap. So you can see it all on the screen at the same time. Oh, I could have just made it a little smaller. Set no wrap. And then just control minus. There we go. Make it smaller. Is that not a thing of beauty? I will be able to just plop perfectly optimized images with markdown into these journal entries that magically slice and dice into published web pages, like this one over here. Plop them in, and yeah, I'm doing that more and more. It's become tedious. I did something similar in order to do YouTube embeds, right? All these YouTube embeds come from that. And as I go through, I mean, there's places where, there's images in there and stuff. Flying Monkeys has an image in there. So I've been doing this frequently enough that it just got tedious and I needed a magic keyboard shortcut to do it. So as my last step, I'll get in the habit of going over to see if there's anyone still there who wants to chat. No one said anything. I had 2 viewers came and left. Well, thanks for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. Hope this helps people out there. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, all that good stuff. Where's the camera there? Oh yeah, it was showing. I just has a time delay because of live